Rien, j'ai starté mon... Je ferme la porte. Non, parce que je vais chercher mon raton. Mon raton, mon raton. Il est où, mon raton? Es-tu prête peut-être? Tiding! Bon. Salut. Can you hear me? I'm trying to see if the mic I use makes a difference or not. Or if it picks up the sound from the camera. Oui, allô? Allô? Ça va bien, toi? C'est pas le bon moment, maman, je fais mon live stream. C'est mon... Oui, c'est bon. Bye. Maman. Oh, what did you do? Péco, elle s'est frottée en fou après la caméra, ça a tout fucké. C'était pas ton goût, filmmaker Péco. Tu montres ta face? T'as tellement une cute face. Close up. Close up de face de raton. Bleu. Bye, Péco. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I wanted to open the lights and close the blinds, and I didn't want it to be all flashy and stuff. Okay. Alright, so hi everyone. Hi. I still have a cat with me. I don't know if you'll be able to see her well, but there you go. Scout. Alright, so quite a few things today. So I had time to sketch something out for the drawing today. I also want to show quickly the Patreon prints I made and that I will be sending out quite soon. So I made 3 of them. Sorry. So yeah, I put together these 3 prints and they will be the reward for the Patreon tiers that have a print reward that I will be sending out soon. So there's that, and is there anything else? Nope. Alright. Bro. Yeah, that. Okay, so next thing that I want to be checking. Okay, well, whatever. But I don't want to show the other side because it has dresses and stuff, but I got this super awesome package from Malwina. It was sent at the PO box, and I wanted to show you some of the stuff in it because it's pretty cool. Stuff like this. I want to say hi to everyone as well. So I see that Cyan and Heather and Tsukaboo and Amisha and Grace, Ian and Otto are there too. Hi guys. I know there are more people, but I cannot scroll back and chat from this position. So yeah, I want to show you the cards that she sent me because they're so cute. Oh, there's even a message in there. Oh wow. So that's one you made, right, Malvina? You made this card because it has the 1B Studio logo on the back. It's birds. Oh, that's pretty. Yep. Look at this. That is so cool. Oh, is this? Oh, there's my big face covering part of it. Alright. I did many things to my fingers. I sliced this one with a spatula knife, and I just have a hangnail on this one that was just like super tiny, but I like caught it in something and it started bleeding, so I just put a band-aid on it so I don't put blood everywhere. But this was the bad cut. Slice. I decided to wash my spatula knife. Say this is the spatula knife, and I went slice like this. But since I've been using them on my glass slab, they are pretty sharp. Like when you scrub the pigment and the paint, it kind of sharpens them after a while. So yeah, I just sliced open my finger really bad on it. And I was like, you know, when you do it, it's the same kind of thing happened to me like when I was much younger. And the first time I decided to try and clean up a razor blade, like, you know, the cheap razors, and I put my fingers on the blades and went swish. And I knew, you know, in that instant that was a terrible idea. Well, same thing happened with the spatula knife. And yeah, it was a pretty bad cut. But it's since it was so thin, it's healing super nicely. It doesn't even hurt. Michael Jackson's plaster fashion. Oh yes, they get super sharp on the mulling grass, right? Like it's super duper evil at this point. So I was like, yikes! And yeah, it was a bit like I was starting to have a headache. I was starting to have a low blood pressure episode. Well, let me tell you, the slicing of the finger that will increase your blood pressure right away. But so I was trying to clean up paint, and it was red paint too, so everything looked like murder, and then my finger was bleeding too, and I was like beginning of a headache, and it was just like trying to focus and decide what to do in which order, and I cleaned the thing, put some paper on it, and cleaned the other things, and I even ended up stepping on paint, so I had to take care of that too, and it was like a super weird, intense, like 30 minutes of zero like functionality, just trying to do things like basic tasks and just being super bad at it. It was funny. The dangers of being a creator. Yeah, you can hurt yourself on stuff you wouldn't think you can. I've also done a really thorough, I don't know if I can show it. I'll try. Hold on, moving camera. But I sorted out my table. So I sort of removed a bunch of things. I removed the brushes I don't really want to use for now, and I've really decluttered everything and made it a lot more efficient and fun. So here I have like, all kinds of bottles, like water, like medium spray things, masking fluid, just whatever. This thing that I use for when I take pictures. Then I have, I don't know if I can show it right. Oh yeah, I think it's fine. Cat Shrine Part 1. Lots of brushes. If I move over here, I have, like, this is the thing I put under my water ball. And a couple of more brushes, containers, palettes. Ceramic under there, small ceramic on top. More palettes, more stuff. A bit more tools that I use. I don't know if that shows well, but here I have like some black masking tape for when I film things that have addresses on them, and brush rests, and a bit more of the cat shrine, because I sort of cannot really remove my cat shrine. Not there yet. Other tools, paper scraps, more paper scraps, footprint palette, and hairdryer, and more cat stuff. And this is the plate and the things I use to wipe my brushes. So it's a huge declutter. I don't know, it might not seem like it, but compared to what it was before, this is really big. Yeah, that's a good idea to blunt the... I should maybe blunt my palette knife. That's a good idea. You weren't cold by chance? Maybe I was. I get kind of really cold at the end of the afternoon here. What's in the frame on the wall? The big ass frame? That one? With the lamp and the huge flare. It's an old poster from the Montreal Marathon. My computer is on a separate table this side. Like, this is just for painting stuff, and the other side is kind of a mess, so I have a lot of work to do on the other side, but at least this space is kind of better. Okay, so I want to continue showing what's in there. This is super exciting. I'm really hyped. Okay, so for some reason the tubing on the brush decided to explode. So let's remove this part. And trash is not available. So Malvina was telling me that this is a company, this company, I'm not going to be able to say that right, am I? Roman Szmal. They used to do pigments. Yeah, in the past the company was selling pigments, but recently they have started doing other things. So you have full pans of paints and brushes. And yeah, this is after seeing you swatching pearl and shimmer paints, I couldn't resist buying this eyeshadow set. I think it matches the paint. Oh, it really does. Wow, pretty. Thank you. And chocolate. Smells super good. La Bottega del Cioccolato. I guess it's ginger, because there are pictures of ginger on top. Cool. Thank you so much. So this is all for later, but I wanted to try and use the paints and the brush in today's sketches. Okay, so just gonna put that here. Yeah, that's a serious chocolate bar. This is not a joke. Thank you so much, Malvina. This is really, really kind of you to send this stuff. I'm really, really excited to test out these paints because I think it might not show from the wrappers, but these have really peculiar qualities when you add a lot of water to them. So the granulation, the pigments tend to separate and create super nice effect. Yeah, that could be. Heather says, I got really cold while looking for my truck at a valet place. After searching a long time, they said it may have been too large. When I found it and drove away, couldn't process and had to stop. Went away once I warmed up. That could be it. But yeah, I think the headache, and I was really starting to get a low blood pressure episode because it usually starts with being a bit dizzy and a really sharp stomachache. I don't often get stomach pains, so when I get this kind of stomach pains, I know that it's the blood pressure thing. So I was like, I really need to clean up my stuff and get done with this, because if I have to go lay down, well, I want this to be, you know, washed and drying rather than dirty and drying. So yeah, and that's when I sliced my finger. So Malvina says you were saying that you like makeup stuff. I do. So I decided to put some inside. It's really kind. This chocolate is strange. It is kind of traditional chocolate from Sicily. Wow. Wow. I don't think... I'm trying to think, but... Well, Canada we mostly find like cheap chocolate from the usual companies from the US, you know, like Nestle and Cadbury and all of that. As far as fancy chocolate go, you really have to go into a special chocolate place. Like, we don't often get fancy chocolate like just there. So I'm really excited to try it. Do you have pots? What's pots? I don't smoke pot. Yeah, although, but the thing is that I started the low pressure thing before I cut myself. I think that I was starting to feel like an episode of low blood pressure. It's usually not a big deal. It's just I gotta lay down for like 5 to 10 minutes and I'm fine. But I think I was starting to feel this and a headache, so I sort of got really foggy, and that's when I sliced my finger. And I think that the jolt, because the moment the thing slices through the finger is super not pleasant, and I think that gave me a rush of adrenaline, so it countered the blood pressure thing. So it went super high blood pressure. I don't have a really high blood pressure regularly, it's usually really low. So yeah. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Whoa, that's a mouthful. I woke up to a cat licking my head. Oh. we're like a Catwoman. She's woken up by cats licking her as well. Okay, so just quickly, I did 2 drawings. A super small, simple sketch of Jazz being a hamster vampire. Just because she's kind of a really nocturnal animal, and I made the joke that I should draw her as a small vampire. And then Otto said, yeah, and she could be like drinking out tomatoes, and I thought that was really funny. So just a quick sketch. And I also I wanted to try this Artistico Fabriano paper since we mentioned it last week. And I knew I had this pack somewhere. So I took it out and took like the first sheet from the pack. And I drew kind of a thing based on Setsubun. And it's it's called Setsubun, means seasonal division. It's a Japanese sort of holiday, but it's not officially a holiday. And it's something like the first day of spring. Otto is there, she will help me. So yeah, basically nowadays the sort of ritual associated to this day is to throw roasted soybeans outside the door or at someone dressed as a demon to push away the bad spirits and to try and welcome in luck for the new year, the spring. First day of spring. Cool. So I was reading on it and to help me figure out some of my questions, and I ended up drawing this, which is kind of a bunch of things I saw. So we have everything is cats because that's sort of the thing, but you have a cat oni. It's gonna be just an oni because it's gonna be red and have like the curly hair and the fangs and all of that. And there are other cats throwing beans at him or her. And in the background, I've made kind of shapes because part of what I read is that in the past there used to be wood burning, and in the hope that the smoke would also help warding off bad spirits. They would also play drums, so I've put drums in here, and the shapes are a bit like smoke tendrils, I thought. And here I've drawn another thing I saw about using holy and sardine heads to create sort of a talisman to protect against the houses. So I got some holy leaves and sardine heads over here. And also I've got an ehomaki. And that's a big sushi roll. You know, like the roll kind, like you have the nori, the algae outside, the rice, and 7 ingredients in there, and it's rolled, and it's meant to be eaten uncut, like the whole roll, while facing the direction that corresponds to the zodiac of that year, I think. Whew. But it's a big futomaki that's called ehomaki from what I saw, because it's like the lucky roll or something. So I put the rolls there and the sardine and the holy there. This area I kept blank. And here I just have like kind of wave shapes, the drums, more wave shapes and more like smoke shapes. So that's the setup. Good luck, Heather! Oh, well, my own live stream. Calm down. Hold on. I also have tea. Whoop. So before I sit down for good, I will go fetch some water. So that will allow me to, well, it's pretty soft already, but unglue this brush. And I will start by inking this one with the regular brush pen. And for this one, I wanted to try something a bit different. So just give me a sec. I'll be right back with some water. I should have washed that in the bathroom so I don't put all the glue in the water. Hold on. No? Sorry about that. It's a really lovely brush so far. Look at this. First of all, there's kind of a pearlescent sheen on the well, it's the gold pearl range, so I guess that's it. But as a fan of sparkly things, this is my seal of approval. And also, look at that point. That's pretty cool, right? How expensive are these, Malvina, compared to other brushes? I keep messing up everything. Come on. I just... Okay, let's... Yeah, the cheap. Oh wow. Holy moly. If these are affordable, this is like a really interesting and promising product, because that's a really nice kind of brush shape. And imagine this one traveled all the way to here with the you know, the tubing broken off. So even if it was perhaps roughed up a bit in travel, it still came to this shape. So that's good. That's good stuff. Okay, let's Hey Jacqueline, hi. Hey Trails. Hey Alexandra. Oh, okay. Hold on. It's gold pearl, and the company is Roman, like you would say Roman, Roman, and the other part is Szmal, Szmal. It's from Poland. I am not sure you can find it outside of Poland. Size 14 costs $6.30. What? Wow. So I guess that like size 1 or 2 is like a couple of dollars, perhaps at most. That's pretty cool. I'm really impressed. We still have to try the paints, but so far, like with Renaissance and now this, like I'm a bit envious. I'm lucky because like Malvina is really awesome and has sent those to me, but not sure this looks like a hamster, but yeah. It's difficult to take pictures of Jazz, so it's sort of difficult to use refs for her. Size 2 costs $2 in Canadian currency. I mean, you can find more expensive brushes at the dollar store and they will never be that good. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Oh, awesome! I'm so glad you got them, Alexandra. Thank you for the brown dot card. Oh, that's my pleasure. I want to start making more paints because it's a nice change of pace, and I also could do with the reduction in my stash of pigments because I started taking up a lot of space now, and I just need to get to it and make the paints happen, right? I really like this paper. It's the Fluid 100. This is the cold press finish. And what else? 4x6, 140 pound, 300 GSM, made in the US, and 15 sheets, and it's 100% cotton. But it's fun because it's a easy block, they call them, because it's bound on two sides. It's bound on this side and it's bound on this side. So it's really easy to remove the sheets when you're done. You just put your whatever you use to remove sheets in, and you chop top, bottom, and there you go. Good to go. So that's one thing. Now for this. Sorry about that. Grab one of these. I got this. And I want to try. Hello! Hello! Hello, baby cat. Sit on my bed. Sit on my bed. Scoochie. Baby. Okay, so sorry about the cat break. I can't help myself. She's just there and she's super cute, so. Remove the sticker. So this is the Holbein. This one is the black drawing ink. It says to be. It is said to be waterproof and opaque. And yeah, I haven't had this. That's Scout. Scout is just sitting on the back there. So I'm just gonna grab a scrap first to see exactly how waterproof it is. But I wanted to try using this because I wanted to see if I could dilute it and ink parts of the drawing with gray ink. So you could have the cats and the demon be in black ink so they stand out more, and all the background be more in gray. So it wouldn't stand out so much. That's a pretty cool pipette here. It is super tiny. Wow. I'm always impressed with Holbein products because there's a real care that goes into like making everything. Like they come with this case to help them not dry out through the rubber there. If you look at the bottom, there's this square shape. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, okay, square shape that embeds itself in the square shape at the bottom of the thing, so it doesn't rotate, and you can cap it, but you can also just pop it like this. I'm like, wow. Wow. So just gonna make a couple of marks here, and yeah, they take real pride in their stuff. I really respect that. So just while this dries, this waits, we can check the paint. Oh no! I'm sorry you're not feeling great, Jacqueline. I missed that. I missed the message. Honey, lemon, tea. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a cold? Is it a really bad cold? Is it? I'm trying to find the place where the wrapper is glued. I think it's gonna be easier to just grab a palette knife. Not a palette knife. Though I've learned these are sharp, but I mean an X-Acto blade. And paper. A really bad head cold. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh crap, these are the worst. I think what people suggested in chat is really good, like the ginger and the honey. I know personally I really don't like hot lemon, like hot lemon water in any kind, or like hot lemon and hot water. I just can't. I tried drinking that and blah. But when I feel bad, I will often do like an infusion of ginger root, like fresh ginger. I will put fresh mint and some cinnamon sticks in there, and also have a lot of vitamin C through usually orange juice. Okay, so I'm trying to peel this off. This first color is Aquarius green. It is a mix of 1, 2, 3 pigments. PY150, BR25, PB29. Like the also, if you suffer from sinus pains at times, you can take a hand towel or a washcloth and really soak it in hot water, remove the excess, and just put it on your face. It's really fun to help clear the sinuses. Oh, my cat is back. She went to eat and now she's back. Okay, sorry, I should focus more on this. I'm really excited to try these. Wow, this brush is really nice. Okay, let's see. Oh wow. Gosh. This is so pretty. This is so pretty. Yep. the pans are not labeled, so. T'as vu mon chat?
Yes.
Oh no. No, this is not Holbein. This is, I'm gonna butcher this again. It's Roman Szmal. It's a Polish company. What is this one? This one is green gold. It is a mix of 3 colors again. I know that mixes get a really bad rap, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with color mixes. It is yeah, exactly. And what is ultimately important is the characteristics of the paint, like is it granulating or not, and the final color you get, because the fact that an orange is composed of a yellow and a red or a single orange pigment is not going to change how it mixes onto other color. I think that's kind of a false information that's really, really common. Whoa, wow. Super bright, super intense. This gotta look somewhat neon on camera. I want to make a video at some point where I try that. Like I try to find colors that are single pigment and some colors that are multiple pigment and they look very similar, and mix them and just see for myself if there's really something happening. But as far as I can tell from personal experience, there's really nothing special about single pigment versus multiple pigment. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's you can only use single pigments, otherwise it makes your artwork look horrible, blah blah blah. Not true! Not true! Stop saying stuff that is not true. It's just not good. I think it is insignificant if you are mixing. I don't think so, because unless the pigments are different weight and they separate in the mix, there's really nothing what's more important is the color bias of what you're mixing together. The number of pigment itself is never gonna bring in something that you don't see. Like, what you see is what's going to happen. There cannot be surprises that are from things that are there but you can't see. Like, if something happens and it's not the result you want, chances are that it's probably not because there was some special mixed pigment in there. It's just not exactly the proper color bias, like warm or cold or green or whatever, the color bias of the mix you're trying to make and the colors you're trying to put in the mix. Because I've tried and I've failed to see, like, if someone has a good example of mixing colors and where multiple pigment causes a problem, by all means send me what the mix was so I can try it for myself. But it's something that I've seen a lot around, but I can never reproduce. Like, when a color is not what I want, it's usually because I didn't mix the proper colors together. Like, whatever I mixed together, regardless of pigment, was not what would give me the result I wanted, regardless of the number of pigment. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. Super excited to try this color. Like, really excited. What I mean that all the pigments will work together. Yeah, I think Otto said it well. Otto saying that if you are mixing multi-pigment colors and you get mud, you just need to learn some more color mixing theory, not chase after single pigment colors. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not necessarily doing a good job. Okay, so this one, Shadow Violet. Like, there's a thing sometimes about granulation. If you use a lot of ultramarine blue in your mixes, you might get unwanted texture or weird color areas that happen, like variegation, but it's usually not the same as mixing. You know, it's a separate characteristic of the pigment. It doesn't affect trying to think and do this swatch at the same time, which is not the best idea. That's pretty lovely. Yeah, that's a good color. Single pigment, only purists can stick to their pan of Crayola watercolors. I like variety. Like, you can get mud with single pigments too, so it's not... Oh, poor Jacqueline, that's fine. My brain is full of snot, I can't even talk. Oh. Snot doesn't go in the brain. Get out of Jacqueline's brain. Snot shouldn't be there. They glue these things like no one's business. It's a really lovely packaging. I didn't comment on it, but I really like it. Like, this is slightly textured paper, and you have a beautiful swatch and the logo of the company, and I'm just gonna pick one that is perhaps a bit more obvious to see. But yeah, and you have like the number and the color name, pigment info. It's really thorough. Like I've bought many professional brands that wouldn't even bother including the pigments on the packaging. Oh, I love Bruiser. I'm gonna be clever this time. I'm gonna use the wrapper to hold the thing because I'm writing the name. So this one, come on me. I'm not gonna be able to say that name. Holy moly, what? Okay, hold on. PRZYBYSZ. This is not Baines. This person is gray. Oops. I wish they had hold on, just let me get this. But I think it would have been fun in school if there were a class that was like just basic pronunciation in various languages. So that if you meet someone or if you end up working in a place where you use a lot of names from another country, you don't sound like a moron trying to say them. I would have found it. Oh, I should. So. It's a bit, yeah, I can't really see the pigments because it's a bit like it's a bit rubbed off, so that will be something we'll have to add in later. I don't know if it's supposed to be more separating and have like, I'm gonna give myself a chance, but it's supposed to be really a really special color with a lot of varying weight of particles in it. So if you look purpley with okay, just gonna remove the wrappers. Put this here, there. Okay. Yeah, it's lovely. It's I really like the two violet purpley colors. I know this is gray, but you can definitely see it's separating into more purpley areas. Like I would say that these are the colors that I personally have a harder time finding hues that I like in these ranges. So I'm really happy to see these because those are super usable and lovely. Yes. Good. Right, this let's see how this ink is doing. Hey, that's what I call waterproof, right? Scrub. Thanks, Holbein. Good job. Oh, thank you so much. Hold on. Okay, so the gray is BB29. PR17 PG26. It is really nice. See, that's the kind of thing I like. The only color that I personally am not super fan of in mixes is black. And you often have black pigment in like Payne's Gray, or sometimes they have it in like Van Dyke Brown, and I'm always like, because to me that's a color that kind of dulls out the color, and that's usually not the effect I want. When I want something darker, I want there to be some richness in the dark, and I usually find that straight out black pigment is sort of flattened. So it's really nice to see a color like this dark, this deep, well, all of these actually, but like especially the violets, none of them have any dark, any black pigment in it. It's all a mix of colors, so you get a color that has a lot of personality, in my opinion anyway. Okay, so let's do this. I want to try using this this water brush for inking, because I was comparing the brush from the this thing to my other brushes, and I realized that none of the brushes I have a tip that is similar to that one, and that's what I usually ink with. And then I thought, hey, I should look at my water brushes that I don't like using, because I don't like using water brushes, and they have really similar like tips in terms of shape and length. So let's try this. It's empty, there's no water in it, it's just the brush itself. Let's bring out this. Not there. Polish is really awesome to listen to. I really like it, but it's always a bit of a pause when I see the words that have like 3 or 4 consonants one after the others, and I'm like, whoa, how do you even make this happen? But yeah. This is why I would love a class about, you know, sing certain sounds in other languages. Oh, is April there? Hey, April, hi! Speaking of Polish paints. How was the the big conference that you went to. I saw the pictures and I was like, holy moly, this sounds really awesome. It's kind of weird because since the brush is empty, then this brush doesn't have the weight I'm used to. It's a bit too light. Maybe I should put some stuffing in there just to make it a bit heavier. Yeah, we were talking about these Roman Szmal paints that Malwina sent me. And I was testing these 4 colors. I'm really excited to try them in perhaps even more watery washes, because from what I remember of the swatch sheet, this one and this one should have perhaps more, or can have more stuff going on. Which is kind of great to have paints that you can either use without too much water and they have a really nice even finish, and then you can sort of add full of water and they will still look good, but it will be a different effect. It will be more like granulation and that kind of stuff. April says, it was so wonderful, I loved every minute of it. I got to spend a lot of time with the folks at Renaissance. They are so awesome. Heather. Are these paints available in North America? As far as I know, they are not. And the brushes are pretty great too. And I haven't seen those anywhere yet. Heather Catudi is obviously head of staff for her cats. I mean, this is only the first drawing I'm doing with these inks. Well, this one actually, but there are more. And I really like it so far. It's a matte finish, which is kind of enjoyable when you're doing illustrations. So from what I've seen and from what I understand, Holbein has two kinds of drawing inks. They have black and white, well, three kinds. So black and white are sort of a separate thing. I don't have the white one because it was out of stock, but I have the black one here. And it just says black, waterproof and opaque. It says to shake well. It's made by Holbein in Japan. It says that it is combustible. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so that's the black one. There are, then you have sort of two different kinds of ink. There's one kind I haven't been able to locate at the store, but the one I was able to find is the special inks. They're special in that they are opaque and supposedly waterproof. And they don't have that many colors for those. There's about 6 colors, I think. Like you have red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and brown. And yeah, I wanted to try these because I wanted to experiment with doing more colored line work. And I don't like the sheen or the transparency of acrylic inks when it comes to doing like ink work, because then when you add colors on top, it's just weird, and I'm not in that place where I want that effect right now. But anyway, so and I saw those first time I see those like in the store in Canada, and I was like, what? There's a sale too, what? So I got these, and I'm really excited to try them. Yep, that's the black I'm using. It's the Holbein black waterproof opaque ink. And we tested the waterproofness because I am not doing this again. And it seems to be holding quite well. Like the ink didn't budge at all. I think there's a bit of yellow from the brush not being properly cleaned when I tried smudging on this, but yeah. So from what I could understand, as far as I know, the last sort of ink that they have are more transparent. They're drawing inks. I couldn't really see if they were waterproof. Usually, like drawing inks that are transparent are either acrylic or not very waterproof, from what I have in other brands. And I did the swatching of all the acrylics inks that I have because it was getting a bit difficult to find like what I have, what I don't have. And I think I really want to at some point try more of the Magic Color inks. I've only seen those on Jackson's website for now, and there's a limited but interesting range of color. But yeah, from all of those that I've swatched, when I swatched all of my inks, these were the ones that I felt were the most interesting to me. So yeah, that's that. Okay, now let's add some water to this ink and see what we can do with inking in grays. I wonder if I should have distilled water or just plain water, but oops, sorry. Since there's a bit of plain water in some of the colors here, I think I will go with just regular water. They have 28 transparent colors and 7 opaque colors. Oh no, I missed one. Havok is so silly with her dislike of Poor bruiser. It's still quite dark. Oh, taxi is blah. Yeah, that could be. Let's try this. Seems to be drying quite fast too. Ah, Holbein, I love you so much. I haven't tried everything they have to offer, of course, but so far everything I've tried from them, with perhaps as an exception the enamel watercolor palettes that tend to have rusty bits on them, which is kind of weird. But everything else I've tried by them has been always like pretty good. I love the paints, the brushes I've tried, except for the Caturday brush, because that was like a makeup brush. It has a good track record, let's just say that. So I guess now is not the good time to mention that Curry's in Ontario has a sale on Arches paper, right? Everyone in the chat is mentioning how they are on a art supply purchase ban. Wow, Otto, you're on fire. Holy moly. Yeah, well, April, that watercolor style is always super hard to resist. Like, I took a great long look at everything on sale and I was like, oh. But I'm saving up to buy like something that's really like, instead of buying a bunch of things and I'm like, I don't know if I will, I'm gonna test it, you know, this let's test this and see if it's good. Well, I'm trying to do something different and I'm trying to save up enough to buy something a bit bigger and something a bit more like kind of more of a reward, if I can say that, for myself. So it took some gymnastics, but I was able to resist buying during their current watercolor sale. I wanted to, but yeah, I'm saving up. Otto is like the awesome best moderator ever. She's super aware and always has links and finds stuff super quick. Curry's is for Canada mostly. It's in Ontario as far as I can tell. They have a couple of stores and they ship probably outside of Canada, but it's gotta be more expensive. Well, if you are within Canada, it's usually less expensive and they have free shipping from $75, which is kind of easy to reach when it's art supplies. Upside down. There you go. Oh, Conte pastels. Yes, I'm saving for something specific, but I don't know if I want to spoil it. Or keep it a surprise. I can give hints, and I'm pretty sure you can figure it out, but it's something I've mentioned at least 2 times already as being completely outrageous. Hey, welcome back, Otto. It's like the Canadian Blick art supply store. I don't know how unusual it would be to have a cat only wearing like tiger pants. That's kind of creepy a bit, but yeah. Also, if you're in Canada, by all means, check out Wallax. It's WALLACK''S. That's where I got the Holbein ink, and they are really, really kind. They are super awesome. They ship fast. They have this deal that if you purchase for $39, you have free shipping. Well, at least if you purchase. I think they are in Ontario as well, and I'm in Quebec, so it's just the province next to me. But yeah, they are really, really kind. They are super awesome. They are not that well known, I think, and they have awesome Holbein products. I bought a basin, yeah. It has like many containers for water, the inks. They have this. I bought this matte medium by Holbein as well, because it's quite liquidy and I want to see if I can use it with my acrylic gouache more. And they have really awesome stuff that you don't find in all the other Canadian stores. So yeah, this is my plug. I'm not at all affiliated with them. I just had to deal with them recently and they were really awesome and really nice. Yes, thank you though. Yeah, they're doing like 20% off $100 and like 10% off $60, something like that, which is pretty cool. Whoever said that enabling was a bad thing? I kind of like it because not necessarily the part about enabling, but I like knowing about art supplies and where I can find them and what they are and like what's available and that kind of stuff. So I'm always excited for. And the upstairs neighbor is on the phone, which is kind of funny because it sounds a bit like the adults in the Peanuts cartoon. when I saw this thing about the sardines, I kept wondering if sardines have a specific meaning. Like, are they lucky fish or something? Hey, Grace! What brand of masking fluid do people recommend buying or avoiding? Sorry, PBO drawing gum is quite good, but be warned that it stinks. And if you are sensitive, I wanted to say sensitive and I almost said the French word, so instead I tripped in my word. Anyway, sensitive to smell, make sure you look for their version of the masking fluid that supposedly has no smell. But the regular thing, it stinks of ammonia. It's really gross. You can use it with dip pens, ruling pens, and glass dip pen. I have this one here, the Masking pen, because it's quite handy and I like the applicator. Oh, I didn't know that Renaissance had a masking fluid too. That's interesting. But yeah, it's usually smelly because it has ammonia in it. Yay, I'm glad. Hold on. Apparently there is a tradition on West Japan to eat sardines at Setsubun. Oh well, okay, cool. Oh, thank you, Otto. I'm glad that it works. The black line work and the grey background elements. I'm really curious to see how it will handle the watercolor bin put on top of it. It's really an issue with masking fluid to leave it on for a couple of days. Like that in itself should be avoided as much as possible because it will really get stuck in the paper, and then it will tear away your paper when you remove it. Hey Anastasia, hi. Also, this will be a really good test to see how this paper, because this is not my usual Arches paper, so hopefully it's not gonna make a huge mess when I come to add colors on top of the drawing. Yeah, I'm not super duper used to masking fluid, but from what I've tried for myself, I like using this one, and what I like of this one, it's a bit clumsy to use because the tip is kind of weird, but it will drop off a lot, like a good amount of masking fluid, which makes it a bit, it takes a bit more time to dry, but it's also much easier to remove after. So perhaps that's something you can try to, if you struggle making sure you use enough of the product so that it creates a good rubbery thing that you can then remove. Yes, I was inspired by the Chiogami paper and the Yuzen prints and all of that. Something that I always find super, like, beyond words, and it's usually printed by hand, and I'm like, what? And I have a couple of reference books about it, but and lots of cuttings and pieces of paper, but I always feel a bit too intimidated to do anything based on it. But figured that I should perhaps give it a try. Oh, at least with this drawing, it seems fitting, since it's about Setsubun. Maybe that kind of thing doesn't circles and let's try this one. I really like woodblock printing and Chiogami, and I have many books about this stuff, which is some of them I've bought myself. Like I have my super recent book about Hirashi Yoshida, and I also have like lots of ukiyo-e stuff, but many of them were given to me, and like the way things happened is that where my dad lives, the neighbors in front of the house, they've been there for a long time, and we're super friendly with them. They're really, really nice people. And at some point in the last couple of years, well, the last many years anyway, one of their relatives passed, and they were an artist, and they had a bunch of books about arts, you know, and the neighbor knew that I was also kind of a wannabe artist, so they went to see my dad, and they told him, hey, yeah, we had someone pass in the family, and they have lots of art books. Do you think that's something that you or your daughter could be interested in? So my dad said, yeah, sure. So he went and he sort of gathered what nobody else wanted, of course, but he got the art books, and many of them were about Japanese good luck paintings, like not necessarily the method, but the artists. So I was like, awesome. Yes. Oh, whoa. Your mom is trained to paint Yuzen? What? That's like insane. That's like amazing. Like the I don't words. What are they? What I mean is that the neighbors, they don't know what I do exactly, so they knew that back then, like 10 years ago, I was artsy fartsy. So that's why they sort of asked my dad if that was something that could interest me. I used to babysit the kids, and it's really weird when I go to see my dad and the kids are there, and they're like adults now. So I'm like, what? What? We used to play with the couch and do like this thing, and like they were so tiny. Now they're all big. And I really messed up this circle, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Hey, Slut Lover, hi. Yeah, I am in trouble. But you know what I mean. I mean, the neighbors, they don't really know what I do, and even my family, you try to explain to them what you do, and it's either super lengthy to try and explain. Be like, well, I want to be an artist, but I think I am, but it's difficult because my brain doesn't help me, and it's kind of broken, and I have to deal with that, and I didn't know it was broken at first, and was really like impending on my skills or brain process, and it's like a long story. So yeah, I could just say I'm an artist, but then they were like, oh, what do you do? And then you're like, keep panic. Okay, let's do this one. Whoa. Oh, use it. Hold on. So Otto will be able to correct me if I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, I will blame the packaging of these things that I bought, because these they were labeled as Yuzen. Let me get the good stuff. That's what I meant by having a bunch of references in terms of samples and paper scraps. I remember this one being called the Yuzen. I keep using Yuzen and that bothers me. Yuzen blue paper pack or something. Whoop. Oh wow. I love Otto that you Otto says that her mom trained in a lot of things. She's qualified to teach tea ceremony, flower arrangements, using artificial flower making. She gets bored easily. Oh, bye April, thank you so much for being here. I love my big eraser. It's a method of resist dyeing a kimono fabric. Well, you can use and print paper too, right? But anyway, so this is the kind of... Maybe they were wrong. Like maybe they labeled this Yuzen and they are way wrong. But maybe it's called Chiogami when it's on paper. I don't know. I need to I need to do even more research, I guess. Hey, Slav Lover, are you like a troll, or are you really here for the chilly, like, everybody hangs together on Saturday and talk about cats and art and stuff, or if you're just trolling us? Yeah, yeah, troll. Have fun. Okay, so I want to use... Hold on, I'm having a brain moment. Let's just grab this one. Okay, so I really want to use the, I think I want to use the Shadow Violet to make the vampire cape. It's a bit big. Yeah, but that's a fine point. Let's try this. That is a really nice brush. Tiniest point. It's a size 12, guys. It's a hamopire. A hampire? Wait, instead of a vampire? Okay, so, which other paints should I get for the rest of the sketch? Yeah, this is something that bothers me. This one. Hey Don, hey Maniaca Depressiva. That's a sad name. Aww, I agree. Henry would possibly be a horrible mod, but it would be a very cute one. Yeah, the Hemgram palette is huge. Even if I have more space now, it's still like humongous. Let's use these. That's the Sennelier set. Yeah, I'm gonna try with I'm gonna keep trying with this one. I am using my Sennelier paints. I really wish I could find a palette that has slanted wells. Enough for this set. So how much? Well, about between 44 and 48 slanted wells. So I could remove all of these from the pans and have them in a palette that's much easier to pick up paint from, especially with big brushes. Because big brushes, they don't like tiny pans. Wolf? What? It's a gerbil that turns into a wolf. Hey Bruno! Hello! I picked this palette because there's a color that I think would make a really good base color for Jazz the hamster. Oui, ça va bien, toi? Est-ce que tu peins encore beaucoup? Her butt hair are... Tu me peux parler en français, ouais. Si on peut appeler ça du français, hein, parce que le canadien français, ouf. Aw, thanks, Dawn. That is so kind of you. I'm glad that we inspire you. I mean, I have a PO box. You guys can send me whatever you want at the PO box. I have no control over that, but yeah, saying I will test the paint, that's not saying that I will make a video necessarily about them. But yeah, I will happily test them and give you feedback if you ever try. Film poster. Ah ouais, t'as bientôt fini ta BD. Wow. Wow, combien de pages? The Empire versus the Gerwolf. I'm trying to picture what a Gerwolf would be. Wolf with ridiculously thin legs. I'm not familiar with gerbils. I need to look up what gerbils look like. Because, I mean, if this is the Empire, it doesn't look much different from a hamster, does it? So I'm guessing that the Gerwolf wouldn't look very different either from a gerbil, but perhaps scruffier and with teeth. It's kind of hard to do really small details with a brush, not because it doesn't hold the point, but because it holds so much water and paint that wherever I touch down leaves a big blob. It was not intentional. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it said gerbil transforming into a wolf, so yeah, I guess there's that. So I'm gonna use the... I don't know how to say this. The PRZY kinda really stumps me. But yeah, I'm gonna use that color to make the shadows on the floor. Ouais, non, 54 pages, c'est vraiment beaucoup de travail. Surtout si tu travailles à temps plein, en plus, en même temps. Et puis, merci, je suis contente que ça te plaise pour les... J'aime bien dessiner des chats, fait que tout ce qui est à propos de chats, on est en business. Some kind of ghost. Frankenrat. Wow, Ian is on fire with the puns and the Monster Mash stuff. Okay, warm-up sketch kind of completed. I know it's fairly simple, but it was just to get something rolling, and now I'm gonna see if I can erase. I'm not sure I'm gonna use scenery for this though. Let's just see how seems to be working really well. And it seems to do this pretty awesome thing that even if I sketched everything in kind of a red pencil before, it didn't trap any of the red pencil under the ink, because that's something that can happen sometimes if you, a bit like with watercolor, but if you sketch and then you put the color or the inking on top and then you want to erase the sketch, the pencil marks are trapped in the ink and you can't really erase them. But this seems to be just perfectly fine with me erasing on top of everything. Yeah, the ghost was made with the shadow violet. No, it's the grey. The cape was made with the shadow violet. The other one, that is supposedly a grey, is a bit more red and purpley, while the shadow violet is really bluish and violet. Yeah, that's my big eraser. It's much harder to lose on a desk than all the other erasers I have. I don't think you can get those on Jackson cyan. These are the not weird, but new polish paints that Malvina sent me. I feel like I should use a Holbein set to color this one. guys are on fire with the monsters. Oh no, Otto, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better soon. So yeah, you guys, if you don't know of Otto's content and channel, I encourage you to check it out. And thank you so much, Otto, for being a super awesome mod, as always. Hope you feel better soon. Heather, you have to send that to me so I can check it later. For now, this is Holbein, and I want to use some of the Roman paints that Malvina sent me as well, possibly for some of the background stuff, because the colors are not exactly the colors that we would see for the cats. I haven't seen a purple cat yet. I did use the simile for this one, for the hamster and the tomatoes, that. But yeah, I felt that since this one has been inked with Holbein colors and features a really Japanese sort of festival, I felt like using my Holbein paints. I don't know if it's copy proof. I can check. I can check with perhaps a blender. I don't think it's completely copy proof, but you really have to work at it to get some kind of a deposit happen. Yeah, Copic resistant, that's a really good wording for it. Because it kind of really stood its ground. Like, if you don't really like work on the ink work with the Copic, it would probably be fine. Hey, bye Don. I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, it really looks like everyone is affected by the winter. I think people with kids are really susceptible to catching all sorts of colds and bugs. Because the kids, they go to school and it's really easy to spread this stuff in a school setting. I feel like I should pass out tangerine or oranges or something. Maybe so. Oh, bye Tsukaboo, thank you so much for being there. I hope you have a great weekend. Ooh, Moonglow or Shadow Violet? That's a really tough choice. Did you see, maybe you could rewatch Otto's video comparing the two? Maybe that would help you figure out which one you would use more. Because one of them is definitely more orange. I think for some obscure reason the Shadow Violet is more orangey and the Moonstone is more purpley. yeah, Otto's comparison video is really handy to check these out and figure out which would be the most useful color. And the answer is both. Oh no! Hey, welcome back, Heather. That's a good idea. Amisha says, maybe look at some older paintings and see which one you would have used most often. Hey, Grimmick. Hi. Yeah, you could get both as in a 5 milliliter tube. That would be a good idea. It can be a bit of a difficult color to find uses for, so make sure you know what, because it is lovely, so it's really fun just to look at the color, but if you break your band for those, make sure you know where you will use them. I'm using a Da Vinci Casaneo brush. It's really long and soft and a bit weird, but it keeps its point better than the Ultimo ones. So if you are curious about synthetic squirrel but would like a brush that keeps a better point, this might be something to try. Mine is a kind of a quill. It's a small quill. It's a size 0. Okay, question for chat. Who has used a tube completely? How many of us have completely emptied a tube? Like they got it new and they use it all up. I haven't, not yet. Oh, hey, congrats, Heather, that's good. Nearly finished 5 milliliters tube, that's good. Because watercolor, I mean, since you almost never use this stuff straight from the tube, we always have to use water with it. So it's 5 milliliters doesn't seem like much, but it is enough. It will last you a really long time. I've got about 1/3 of my first professional grade tube. Hey, that's good. That's good. I think I have a tube of indent throne blue that is really, really advanced, but it's been poured into pans, so it's not like I've used up all the paints yet. So the tube might be nearly empty, but I'm really not done with the paint. Oh, whoa. Cool, Malvina. Is turquoise green the, you know, the cobalt turquoise color with the granulation? 3 empty core tube. Whoa. Core are so expensive. It is insane. I don't think there's any place where they are a better price. Like, they are always the most expensive of every store stock. Wherever I see them, like if you look at all the watercolor paints they offer, Core is always the most expensive. I mean, it's a good paint, but is it worth spending so much money on? Not when you have other stuff available. It's really hard to justify paying this much over paint when you can get like really good paint for a much more affordable price. Yeah, PG50, that's a beautiful color. I think we had a super long rambling talk last week about the beauty of mixing Caput Mortem and that PG50. I don't think I've seen them cheap anywhere. Like, possibly they are a bit cheaper in the US because they are made in the US, so you don't have to consider all the import-export fees and all of that, but they are still the pricier option. And it's not like the size of the tubes justify spending more. It's not like you say, well, it's going to be more pricey, but I'm going to get more paint. Nope. It's going to be pricey and you're going to get less paint than you would for the same amount of money. in any other brand. I'm not saying that core is a bad paint. It's a really awesome paint and it's a lot of fun to use, but it's just so hard to justify spending money on buying core tubes when you can get Daniel Smith, Da Vinci, Schminke. They are good paints, car, and you wet well, and they have beautiful colors, but yeah, they are not something extra that you wouldn't find anywhere else. Okay, let's have some fun with the oh, I still have room. I can be here and paint a bit awkwardly, but have my palettes open. That's good. I'm gonna use the sorry, that cool gray to paint this area. Oh, really, Heather? That's interesting. Ouch. $50 for, okay, well, it depends. The blocks, the Arches blocks are always an insane price. That's a constant. That's a law of the universe. The pads, the ones that are glued just on the top, are usually a lot more affordable. If that was a pad with only glued at the top for $50, that's just insane. Yeah, you're better off ordering online if that's the case. So what do you do, Heather? When you buy stuff, do you buy it online? Or is that even too complex? They were pads. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, that's not a price that is super friendly. $50 for a pad. Whoa. Arches is good paper, but that's definitely too pricey. I think I would faint in a real art supply store. Hey, Bugs in the Paint, hi. I'm in the UK, but I get a pad of arches for about £13. But I still hold onto it like it's gold dust. Oh yeah, cool. So that super cool gray with the name that is hard for us to pronounce is color 401. So that could be 401 gray. That would be much easier. I am really happy with the Holbein inks. I think, well, the black one at least so far. I'm really excited to try the other colors I picked up, and I love how they work so far. The fact that I can use a bit of water to make a lighter color, and that way have more control on how I ink my drawing, but still have the benefits of the waterproof ink. That's amazing. And also, like I said, the packaging is really nice. It's nice to have this, you know, like this container and this thing that is locked into place, and you have a way to store it that will prevent extra evaporation of the ink because it's in a container, and it's not like it's super pricier than say other inks. This was about 12 Canadian dollars for this bottle, and if I consider something like Liquitex acrylic inks, they are near what, about $10, perhaps a bit less. So it's not like a huge hike in price. That's a really awesome thing, Amisha. Congrats on moving on to Arches paper. Do you like working on the Arches paper more than what you used before? Do you like see a difference when you work with the paper? Whoa, 300-pound arches. Wow. Yeah, under pressure indeed. But that's fun. That doesn't buckle at all. Yay, I'm so glad, Anisha. I'm really happy for you that you decided to take this big plunge and move on to Arches paper. And you're absolutely right. It is like, it requires adjustments and you have to get used to it. But once you are there, wow, it is amazing to use. Like so many issues that you, I don't know for you, but I know for me that many issues that I couldn't really associate to one factor or another all went away when I moved to just using cotton paper. And in my case, Arches is really often on sale and really affordable. Like there's a sale, the sale at Curry's, the 9x12 Arches pad are like $14 each in Canadian dollars. That's like $10 US. That's really not a lot of money considering. And I know that that this paper is precious and all of that, but you know what is precious too? Your time is precious. And I don't find it worth the money savings to struggle with bothersome paper. I much prefer have a great time and enjoy what I'm painting on good paper than struggle with paper that doesn't collaborate with me. Yeah, you can layer and layer. What kind of paints do you use? But yeah, I found that too with arches. You can really work in layers and it doesn't make a mess. Well, cellulose paper might be okay if you don't layer too much, but if you want to layer, it's really not a good choice because the paint sort of sits on top of the paper. So whenever you add more paints, you reactivate the paint that's there and you just... The colors are so much more vibrant and less prone to streaking. I agree. Mostly Winsor & Newton with some DS. Do you use Cutman or do you use Professional? Hello, everything watercolor. Has anyone seen her fit in my face? What? Oh yeah, Professional Winsor & Newton is really nice. It's not... How can I say? It's sort of the old reliable. Like, if you were stuck on an island and there were only Winsor & Newton Professional, one could paint fine, you know? It's perfectly good and some colors are really, really nice. But then you have other colors like sap green and yellow ochre that are super hard to re-wet and just a bit annoying to use when they are dry. If you use them from the tube, then no problem. Prefer the Winsor & Newton PB29 over the DS by far. Well, I got no issues with the colors. Like I said, PB29 is usually pretty much consistent, but I just find it hard to re-wet. Like I have Winsor. Do I have it? No, actually I don't have it, so maybe I need to get it at some point just to try. But yeah, Daniel Smith, in terms of hard to re-wet ultramarine, if you get their French ultramarine, it's a brick. It's a stone. It's not my favorite color. Just because it doesn't re-wet well at all. I'm not using Winsor & Newton set right now. This is Holbein, And the other paints I'm using on the side are the Roman Szmal polished colors that are not exactly common yet. They're a new product in Poland. I think this is going to be the most the longest part of this painting is going to be painting around all the sardines and the leaves. Okay. I do want to try the Beam 6x9 pre-cut sheets too, as a slightly more affordable option for studies and such. I think it's a good idea. They are really affordable, and that's what I also use for like studies and swatches too. Like if you want to swatch a color for its granulation, I don't really see the point of using Symrose paper for that. It's not going to give you a reliable test. I think a cat just came in. Oh, yep, cat. Salut Pico. Ouais. Tu bien dormi? Can you guys see Pico? Okay. Oh. There she is. Yes. Oh, yeah. Pico de Gallo. Oh. Any tips for on avoiding fur baby hair in your paint? I work on a standing desk and still my puppers manage to pollute. Ooh. I don't think there's a really good way to prevent it from happening. I think the best you can do is just accept it. And then just, yeah. Bye, Pico. Surrender and call it mixed media. Yep. I don't think there's a unless you have a well, no, even if you have a dedicated space where the pets don't go, you're gonna carry in some of the hair with you, and it's gonna be part of it regardless. I really don't think there's a way to yeah, Pico is gone. You're stuck with me. Hi. My favorite choices of cats to paint are really, really obvious and based on my current fur babies. That reminds me. Hold on, before I forget again. Okay, so as it turns out, I was cleaning up my stuff the other day, and I found a lot of things that yeah, I'm not really wearing my cat suit today. So I have all these sketches of pets that some of you might recognize. Here we have Kitty, Dory, Bun Bun, Crystal, Havoc. I think that is Luna and Dante. Hold on, I have more here. I have Bubba, Bodhi. Well, I tried Bodhi at least. The Get Better Crystal sketches. Come Home Sunny, Akina, Geralt, more Crystal. Sucks. I have the Come Home Desmond one. Macy. Leo and Sue. Wait, hold on. And I have Spaz. So I got all of these. And I just wanted to say, guys, if you would like to have the portrait sent to you, I'm more than happy to do so. I would only, perhaps, if you can afford it, to just perhaps send me a coffee on Ko-fi and mention that that's for the sketches, and I will cut them out and send them to you. Just one coffee so that it covers the postage fee, basically. That's the only thing I would possibly ask. If you could, yeah, I will be more than happy to send them to you. Yeah, well, that's it. That's not exactly postage is not super expensive with the sketches. If there is more than one, it's perhaps gonna cost a couple of dollars, like 2 or 3, to send it to the U.S. And I'm not doing this just so I can get coffees, but it's just an easy way to send a few bucks so that I can then send along their sketches if you want them. Oh, I already sent out the order, Lana. I'm so sorry. But I will. I should have thought about it. Well, if you plan on ordering paints, that can be. You can wait for that. If you plan on ordering prints, you can also tell me to just send me a note to add in the sketches when you order prints or paint, and I will happily send them along. Like, I don't mean to keep these for myself. They're perfectly fine with sending them out, but yeah. I am working on making more paints, as can attest the cut finger. I am preparing salmon and more zirconium cerulean at the moment. I will try next week to add in more colors. Perhaps some Spanish gold ochre, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I have to see what other colors I can make, but I plan on making more, so there's that. Cyber Cafe Nouvelle Dépendance. It's a really useful system, the Ko-fi. I don't know if you're familiar with Ko-fi trails, but it's a kind of like Patreon in the sense that, well, now it's a bit more like Patreon in the sense that you can decide to pay a recurring amount monthly. But basically it's just a tip jar. It's a place where you can send what they call a coffee, but it's basically the base thing that they set is they call it a coffee, and it's $3. So you're basically buying a coffee for someone whose work you like, and the platform is named Ko-fi, Ko-fi, and yeah, it's great because they don't take a cut on the money that is sent to the people. You get the full amount, which is a really nice change from Patreon and other platform with a similar concept. And I've recently decided that I would give them a fair chance, and I subscribe to their gold sort of membership that allows you to offer commissions and a bit more features for the creator. And yeah, I think they seem to be really nice, and it's a really good backup in case Patreon decides to be bonkers again. Like, I've seen articles saying that basically Patreon will need to find new ways of making money to support the size that the website is now. Maybe it's a cyclical thing, maybe like Ko-fi will go through that at some point, but for now Ko-fi is still relatively small, so it's just fun to use and nice. And I like the idea that, yeah, if you relativize, is that a word? But if you say that, like, it's kind of bad to ask money. I don't really like asking money, first of all, but it's kind of normal. If you want to be able to create more content, you cannot do it for free endlessly. So I like the idea of making the link between contributions and basically buying someone a coffee, because everyone has bought a coffee or a tea or a similar beverage, and we can all relate that it's not a big amount, you know. It's not, like, it sort of puts it in a context that I think makes it more palatable and more friendly for people. So, long rambling, just to say that I kind of like Ko-fi as a platform. They have a feature that I saw that I don't know if it's only for the gold members of Ko-fi. Being a gold member, by the way, is not super pricey. It's like basically the price of a coffee per month. It's like $5, so it's not exactly like some other websites that will ask you like $15 per month to be a member and have extra benefits. $5 to me per month, that's really reasonable. But yeah, you can have they have this feature that some of the content can be locked and only viewable to people who donated in the last 30 days. I think it's okay. I don't have a problem with that because you can basically donate once if you give like the amount the person has set, $3, $4, $5 once, and you can view all the backlog. And I think that's a fair exchange. Like you get to see exclusive stuff for a couple of bucks. Fine. Sorry. It's surprising how fast we end up with a pile of paintings wondering what on earth to do with them. Oh my gosh, yes! I have so many. That's why I'm sending a bunch to Otto all the time. And yeah, my box is like full and I'm gonna have to give away some or perhaps try to sell them, but I don't really know how that's gonna go. I think that the last thing I want to do is take out some gold paint to put over the scalloped areas. I'm glad you like the painting of Luna. Do you speak French, Trails? Est-ce que tu parles français ou do you use a translator? I need to make you a mod, Heather. Here, let's... I literally grabbed the closest to me gold palette, but I also like that it's the Schminke one because it's not gonna cover up the line work completely. These are a bit more sheer than other metallic paints, so I will try. I just want a kind of a sheen, not you know, a super intense thing. Just gonna pre-wet this a bit and wait. Know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Oh, a translator. Okay. Well, it's a good translator because that's some pretty good French. I think I have links possibly to the shop, the Etsy shop in the description, the PO box. Yeah, you saw the beautiful cards that Malvina sent me, but also if you find some really ugly postcard, you can send that in. I really like ugly postcards or silly ones or, you know, weird stuff. And trying to think what else is in the description. Links. Possibly my Ko-fi is in there. Okay, let's get some shimmer going. Also need to end the stream. It's been 3 hours. Holy moly, guys. If you have to go, by all means, go. I love having you here, but also 3 hours is a lot of time. Yes, that's perfect. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick this up. But it's basically just a shimmery sheen. Really light. Doesn't at all covers the line work underneath, but in the light it's gonna look really nice. Yeah, Heather, you're a mod now. And I think that's done. I'm super happy you guys are spending your Saturday afternoons with me. I really enjoy it. It's always fun, and we talk about all sorts of random stuff. Well, if you're okay with it, Heather, I didn't ask beforehand, but if you'd rather, if you're uncomfortable with being a mod, I can remove it too. Like, if anyone is on, if there's anything problematic going on, just tell me. This is not supposed to be complex or bothering anyone, or just for fun. Well, okay, Saturday night for you, Cyan. Granted. Okay, so quick recap. Malvina sent a pretty awesome package in the mail that included these awesome paints that are in this palette for now. That is pretty juicy at the moment. And this is the swatches we made of the colors I made with you guys. So beautiful green, a green gold, a shadow violet, and the 401 gray. Just call it 401. These paints are made by Szmal, and also a brush made by the same manufacturer that is super awesome. Really nice point, really nice. It's bendy but not too springy either. It's really nice brush. I'm really it has a shiny handle. I mean, how can you not like this brush? No, I think you can still be yourself, Heather. And yeah, I then did the two drawings. This one just for fun and practice and warm up. Sorry, of the hamster vampire. And then this was the thing I wanted to do. It's a drawing based on Setsubun, which is a Japanese holiday of sorts. And for this one I used a mix of Holbein paints and the Roman Szmal paints and a bit of Schminke, and also super awesome Holbein black drawing ink that is waterproof and opaque. And we saw that it's completely waterproof even if you dilute it. It is not Copic proof, it is Copic resistant, but still pretty good. And yeah, I was also testing out the Fabriano Artistico paper because people mentioned it in a past live stream, and I thought I would give it a try using these test packs. So that's basically a rundown of everything that happened today. Unless you guys have questions or want me to show something specific, I think we are done. I'm waiting for the lag to catch up. There's a delay between me rambling and painting and everything being there on YouTube. I love the paper. I really love it. So far, I didn't layer all that much on this, to be honest, so perhaps that's the next thing for me to try. But it did not mess up with the, the slight layering I have from the cats, so that's the next thing to try. But it took the ink really well, and the ink dried well on this paper. It took the colors well as well. Well. Yeah, no weird unsightly thing went on. It's not stretched and it's not taped down, so it moves a little, but that's usual. It settles back down really nicely. So so far I'm really excited to try more of this paper, even if I have like enough arches to last me years, at least 1 year. If I ever don't have access to arches anymore, I will seriously consider this Artistico paper. I know I have access to this one, so I don't have my phone with me. I'm sorry, Heather. I am not the trendy kid. I haven't taken the habit of carrying my phone with me all the time. I can show it next time. It's still gonna be funny, I think. So, that's it. I want to say a super big thank you to awesome moderators. Well, Grace, who's been the moderator since the stream started. Otto was there at the beginning too, but had to go. So thank you, Grace and Otto, and also welcome Heather to the realm of moderators. There's not that much to do except post links and smash trolls. So PO Box, shop, Ko-fi, everything is in the description if you want to check that out. And that's it. So I will wish you all a really awesome weekend, and hopefully you have a good Saturday evening or Sunday, depending on where you're at. And you guys are funny. Post links and smash trolls, and I'm all out of links. So yeah, thank you guys, and see you all next time. Bye bye.